آزادی بیان
言论自由
free speech.
In Tunisia, elsewhere, where the transition is quite a bit less troubled, there have been some very interesting debates going on. This is Moez Chakchouk. He is the head of the Tunisian Internet Agency. And he announced this past fall that his agency under Ben Ali had been testing censorship technology on behalf of Western companies who provided it, and then, enabling them to fine-tune it before they went and marketed it around the region. And Mr. Chakchouk is a fabulous man, and I suggest that you get him involved with your project if he's not already. But he has, in several speeches over the past several months, talked about the importance of ensuring that his agency and that Tunisia's networks, information networks, and infrastructure need to be neutral and need to be set up in such a way and managed in such a way that is conducive to dissent, conducive to democratic discourse, and that technical setup and also kind of legal setup and business relationship between government and internet companies is as important, really, as the constitutional setup of Tunisia in terms of ensuring that people have the right to speak and the right to organize without having the scales tipped subtly against them. And there's been a debate going on in Tunisia, raging over the past half year or so, over the role of censorship in a democracy. And this is a screenshot that was taken by some activists in May of last year, quite a number of months after Ben Ali had stepped down, when some members of the government decided that, given the Islamic morals of the nation, that some Facebook pages needed to get reblocked. Censorship had been done away with around the time Ben Ali stepped down, but they decided, well, there was some obscene material that was not appropriate for the kind of society Tunisia ought to be, and that there were also some other kind of sort of incendiary websites that were also troubling, that should be considered candidates for censorship. And so this block page, says that this was taken when an activist tried to access a particular Facebook page that had been deemed obscene by the military tribunal that was running the government transitionally before this fall's election. And a number of appeals then ensued. A group of activists who'd been very involved with organizing the demonstrations that overthrew Ben Ali challenged this order. And a couple of courts upheld the order. And then last month, the High Court overturned the order. And this was considered, of course, a very big victory. But it's certainly not over. I was in Tunis last fall and spoke to some of the activists who'd actually run for the Constituent Assembly unsuccessfully, and who are very concerned about free expression in Tunisia, who said that actually quite a number of people who got elected to the Constituent Assembly did so on a pro-censorship platform, on a family values platform, on a conservative religious platform. And so, despite the fact that this particular censorship order was overturned, civil society in Tunisia, those who believe in free expression, are gearing up for a long battle ahead. And what's interesting is that those who advocate censorship point to a wide variety of nations that have limited internet filtering for obscene content or for child pornography and that kind of thing, and say, well, we're acting according to international norms. This is standard practice in many countries. Why shouldn't we be able to do that here? And plus, we're doing it in a very limited fashion. We're just censoring obscene speech. We're not censoring political speech. But of course, the activists say, how do we ensure that this mechanism, once put in place, does not get abused? How do we guard against mission creep? How do you make sure that if the power of whoever's running the government at the time abuses this power, that they're held accountable and that there are consequences served upon them. And nobody has clear answers. And they look to the West to see how we make sure that censorship and surveillance mechanisms are kept accountable, and they're not finding a lot of answers. They're finding a lot of fierce arguments.